Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan and thank you for coming to the channel. Okay, so I flirted with this idea for a long time now and I pulled the trigger. I removed what was the brother of this 5-gallon grow out tank for live bearers. Here you see it on my lower rack. And I had another one situated right here, but as you can see, I've done a significant upgrade. I removed all the inhabitants of the previous aquarium and brought them to my LFS and disengaged the equipment, and while doing that did a kind of a major rework of this area in the fish room. You know, one thing leads to another, that sort of thing. But what we have here is an SR Aquaristic 10.7 gallon aquarium. I love this brand. It is the same as the 32 gallon long that's directly above it, lights out and reflection in, I beg your pardon. But that brand, which is housed in the Chicagoland area in a town called Elgin, or as Siri says, Elgin, what a great outfitter for this hobby, and it begins and ends with their terrific aquariums at a good price. Beautiful black seal, the German style they call it, extra thick low iron glass, all good. So this 10-gallon plus is going to be a Pseudo Black Water tank, in that I intend to use tannins and lower the pH and get the tint in the water, but I'm also going to filter to some extent some of that stuff out because I'm also going to be keeping plants in here, and a heavy black water is just not the ideal environment for most aquatic plants. Now, I might dial up or down my concept as we go. I'm about 3/4 into it now. I have installed the light, which is, and I should talk about it, the Chihiro's B series, their new value. They call it the king of value. I love the sort of Chinese idea of what Americans like, and maybe they're right. But anyway, it's cheaper than a lot of their terrific lights, and I have 2 others. But it has the app control, which is awesome. You can set the timer and intensity with this. However, in the value light, you cannot adjust the colors. They are RGB, so they're interwoven with a portion of the white lights. And I was insecure about that, but I did some research on Reddit, and someone had the same insecurity, and they asked the same questions I did, is can this white light support plant growth? And so far the answers have been absolutely. Now I'm going to use a lower intensity by far than the 100. Right now you're looking at about 60%. I might go down to 30 if I want to get the right effect for a low light black water tank. My plan is, within this heavy ironwood I call it, but let's just say driftwood, there's 2 pieces here. This hero piece with the 2 extensions, and then the one sort of fabulous long extension. And then I've chosen petrified wood, right? Because I've already used zero stone in a bunch of aquariums, and dragonstone as well, and I didn't want to do the same thing. Also, I chose an inert form of rock so that it won't counteract or contradict the effects of a black water tank. With those tannins make the water more acidic, but using certain stones would bump the pH, so you'd have a bit of dueling banjos there, and I didn't want that. So obviously petrified wood, well, not obviously, but intuitively it is inert because it used to be wood. I inquired if the petrification process meant that there'd be iron, and I don't want iron, obviously, in any significant amount in a black water aquarium, or probably any aquarium. But my research says no, that this is completely safe and inert. So these are 3 pieces situated within the hardscape, within the driftwood structure that I've chosen. I'm still at a point where I could literally undo this in 5 minutes and try something else, but so far I'm sticking with this, and I'm not 100% happy by any stretch, but let's just say 75% happy. The things I'm concerned about is the fear of missing out, FOMO. Is there a better layout that I just haven't found yet? And B, is this the right thing to do for what my goals are for this tank? But so far I'm there. Now I wanted to talk about the detailing. I save every little piece of water-safe driftwood that I can, including certain twigs. Now these have been soaking for a few days, and they match the general color and texture of the hero pieces. And as you can see, I've arbitrarily, well, not arbitrarily, I've deliberately put some of them, the bigger pieces, within the nooks and crannies of the hero pieces to try to create a rooting effect, a flowy, sort of aesthetically beautiful but faked idea that there were some roots somehow emanating from this at once upon a time, or just fallen. And you know, I'm taking poetic license, as we all do, and sort of finding the in-between. So when you lay it in between like that, it creates the same effect as when the hero piece is put between the two rocks. It adds it creates the illusion that the roots have grown over time through the sediment and sort of calcified or petrified in that particular place. It is artificial. I mean, nature doesn't really operate this way, but in our human brains we think it does, so that's why it's aesthetically pleasing. And speaking of aesthetically pleasing, I'm not there yet with this. There's something a little sophomoric about it. I want it to be a bit more intuitive and a little less forced, if you will. Like, I don't know. I put this cool big piece there because I have a few other medium to small size pieces of petrified wood that I want to use for detailing, and I'm wondering if that piece in conjunction with one of those rock pieces would look good sort of as a little island here to the right of the tank. And the only way to find out is to find out, and I don't have those other pieces of petrified wood yet. I don't want to use stones that completely contrast with the petrified wood, and therefore using pebbles that are colored and polished, I feel would be wrong. But maybe off-white or white and not polished, maybe, because they clearly would not look like they've fallen from or came from the petrified wood. But if they looked good, that might be all I need to know in order to move forward. My hunch is they won't look quite right. They'll look, again, I'll use the word sophomoric, in that, you know, I know better, and so what am I doing by adding white stones into the scape? Now I'm for sure gonna add more of these twigs. And by the way, never throw out these little pieces that might come in the box of driftwood you buy or that snap off. Just keep them in a little jar like this, and you just never know. I use them all the time, both inside and outside the aquarium. And you can see some up here just sort of draped in front of the tank. Kind of hides a bit of the equipment, or at least marries it to the overall aesthetic of the fish room. And it, you know, it looks cool. Anything in nature looks cool, so you'd be hard pressed to F it up. I mean, even if I put in different colored rocks, Mother Nature would make the most of it. But I want it to be perfect, quote unquote perfect, many asterisks next to the word perfect, but you know what I'm saying. So my plan is I'm going to add more of this UNS Contrasoil color black medium into the back in case I want to put some plants right back in there. And I'm thinking of my red leopard vale. It's a darker vallisneria, so it would add to the sort of dark and brooding color palette that I'm hoping to achieve here. And then I could perhaps put them there instead of there, or in both places. I don't want to turn this into just another massive planted tank. Now, I love those, I just already have those, so I want something different. So I'm thinking a gold sand, or even what's Denarale is calling Congo sand, which is like the color, it's really dark brown, like when you finish hardwood floors with a dark brown stain. It has a super stained quality. Now, everybody always uses white sand in a black water, and I get it, I know why, but I'm thinking, wouldn't it be neat to kind of zig instead of zag and try something gold and dark down in here, and maybe layer some in along the driftwood up in where I'm going to be gluing all these, so it's kind of, that's the vibe, and not using the white, which people use the white sand to pop in a black water tank. And it might be a mistake what I'm doing, and once you put sand in, it is more of a pain in the ass to undo it, and covering it up just leads to kind of a mixed fricassee of sand, and I don't want that. But when I see the sand, when it comes in, this Congo sand from Denarale, I'll know, right? I can test a little bit in the corner, and that in conjunction with the UNS black, I'm hoping creates this really sort of bodacious, bold, dark black and brown vibe that a black water tank is iconic for. And then, before I forget, the equipment, Denarale has like zero presence on socials, but through my research, I found the company. They sell a lot of great sands, including the one I just talked about, as well as equipment. They have one brand of light. I chose Chihiros, and not them, but I did choose their sort of second smallest canister filter. They have 3 sizes for nano tanks, and this is their stainless steel. Oh, not Denarale, I'm sorry, this is Landon, my bad. And the same for the Congo soil, it comes from Landon, so my apologies to Denarale, and correction, it's Landon, which has a zero presence on socials, very, very little videos, like nothing on their Facebook page and nothing on Twitter. And in any event, I'm kind of taking a chance with this Landon brand, but it's where I got the soil. And it all started when I was looking for a small mini canister filter. I could have gone with a hang-on back, but I don't want to be reaching in back there to deal with it underneath this racking system. It's already a hassle getting back there for some other stuff. And I also didn't want to look at it up front here. I could have maybe put it right in there and it would be fine, but I don't know, something about always having to fiddle with the flow rates and the quickly clogging media. It's gonna involve more work for me on some respects, but I went with this cool little canister filter from Landon, and this is just these are the sponges you can use. That's the metal tray, and that's just the adapter for the filter attachment. I cannot report on the quality or efficacy of that filter because it's not set up. It does come with, and this is a real bonus, these beautiful, sleek stainless steel lily pipes. You get the set, plus you get the tubing, and get this, you also get the connecting, the tap connectors. You add the prices of lily pipe stainless and not Higer, there's a couple brands that make the connectors, UNS, and you're talking, over $100 just for those 2 components alone. So plus the canister, I don't know, I think I paid like $350, $375 for the whole thing. I found that to be a really good value and fair price. Like if it was $150, I would think it was something was chintzy about it. And from all my examinations, I find this filter to be extraordinarily well made, but we shall see, we shall see. So I haven't chosen the fish I want to go with. I've talked a little bit about the plants and what the Pseudo Black Water aquarium could mean to me, and I will keep you updated moving forward. Okay, everybody, as always, like I am today, keep your hands in the tank and ciao for now.